powering these warp gates, although it looks like this pylon over here is also powering these two warp gates, so he manages to take the power down for 2 of the warp gates, but there are still 2 that are up and running, and these sentries are going to be able to clean up the last of these units from Dig. And Dig's sending in a couple more zealots here, another stock hitter, another zealot, and he's starting to mine pretty heavily at this high yield expansion, so we should see his economy jump up pretty fast here. And Achaia is now mining pretty heavily, although no gas yet at the expansions, still going very low econ right now with just roaches and zerglings, because basically I know that I need to get this stuff out of this base before I can comfortably move out and help supporting Dig on the offensive. And fortunately for me, Dig is close enough to our enemy's base that he's able to keep the pressure on continuously, especially with them focusing their efforts on this offensive push with the bunkers and the warping with the proxy pylon here. Now, it looks like Dig is warping in another cybernetics core, and he's already got his Twilight Council, so rebuilding a little bit of his tech tree here because he did lose some key buildings. And it looks like I'm moving out here against the Terran and the Protoss players, able to take down a few of the units and backing off because they do have these 2 bunkers here still. Now, working my way back in again, taking down that sentry immediately to make sure that it doesn't cast the Guardian Shield, and then focus firing down this bunker. Once that bunker goes down, it looks like the roaches are going to easily take down these stalkers and marines that remain here. And there is 1 bunker left still that has 4 marines in it, but some of the marines are pretty heavily damaged, so if I can take this bunker down, I should be able to finish the rest off. And it looks like I'm going to be able to once I finish that SCV off there. And the SCV going down, and also the bunker going down, a handful of roaches, you can just see how powerful they can be with just a handful of roaches taking down all those units. And still, they've got their proxy buildings up here, warping in more units, building more units, but I was able to take down the bunkers, and I've got the upper hand with the stronger economy, because neither WPR nor isaywoot has expanded yet, and continually Dig is streaming units into their base, trying to keep the pressure on and keep them on their toes. And it looks like isaywoot has started putting up some turrets in anticipation for some Mutalisk harassment, or possibly even some carriers or a mothership from Dig. Of course, I don't know if he's aware that Dig still has basically no tech tree, although I gotta assume that they know that he's got something since he's still producing units. Unfortunately for them, just looking at isaywoot's vision, he has absolutely no idea that Dig is building over here. So as far as they're aware, Dig is pretty much dead right now, and he's just sending in the last of his units. But little do they know, he's got the high yield expansion right outside of their base and is constantly producing units. And it looks like Dig is throwing down a Dark Shrine, going to go for some DT tech here and try to catch him off guard a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't know if Dig has just not scouted it, but they do have a lot of turrets, so they will have detection for that, which actually, let's check that right now. So he does see that they do have the turrets, so maybe he's just getting that. Oh, and it looks like DTs are back up in my base, and I just barely managed to get out an Overseer in time. A lot of these units, it looks like, are damaged from those DTs most likely. And the DTs, there's 3 of them left. Trying to get that Overseer over here. It's out of position right now, but fortunately WPR is going to run away. Oh, and coming back now, although here comes the Overseer again, able to take these DTs out relatively easily. And throwing down an infestation pit and a hatchery, and wow, I have a lot of minerals. I am apparently a noob when it comes to macro. But fortunately, it does not matter, because at this point they do not have enough of an economy to continually stream units into my base because of the pressure that Dig is putting on them on the other side of the map. And I'm also taking another expansion here on the left side. Now Dig's starting to move in with some zealots and some DTs now. Apparently does not have the warp gate technology yet, although not really necessary since he has got his base right outside of their base. His units do not have a long ways to travel anyways. And it looks like the Terran player isaywoot has started going for some tanks here. He does have siege tanks, one of them sieged up at the entrance to their base, and 3 more just moving around here. And it looks like 1 tank is very, very low on health. And again, WPR trying to get some... and Dig asking me, can I attack? I don't know if he's aware, but apparently he hasn't been paying attention to the units I've been trying to fend off in my main base. And it looks like a couple more DTs, and these units are going to go down to the mass roaches in my base. And looks like I'm going for a hive at this point too, so going to expand the tech tree a little bit more. Once again, getting up another expansion. Unfortunately, I forgot to set my rally point on this hatchery. Another noob mistake. This game was so crazy, it was hard to keep up with everything that was going on, because I was trying to make sure that Dig was doing okay and trying to make sure that I wasn't letting them get too big on my side of the map. And yeah, I just apparently forgot a lot of things. But anyways, finally going to be able to take out these proxy buildings from WPR and isaywoot, but I managed to miss one DT somehow, and this one DT is going to get a lot of kills. It looks like 10 kills already on these Zerglings, and finally moving that DT just barely far enough that my Overseer can see it and managed to kill these that last DT there with my Zerglings and Roaches. And it looks like Dig is moving in again. He's got a couple more DTs, Stalkers, and Zealots. And I'm not sure where the siege tanks are. It looks like they were over on the far edge here. And it would appear that they have finally spotted Dig's expansion, because if you look at their vision, they can actually see these gateways now. So they are aware that he's over there. But unfortunately, they do not have enough to move out right now. And the Dark Shrine for WPR almost going down, which would have, of course, taken away the DT tech for him. And it looks like Dig does have a couple DTs in there. Unfortunately, there is some turrets in the back of the mineral line for WPR, so he is able to stop that. And now, finally, that I've got the proxy out of our main base down at the other side of the map, I'm able to send all the forces that I've been storing up and do one final push here to hopefully take him out. And also at the same time, now that I have my hive, going for an Ultralisk Cavern, just in case, because you know you can never have too many Ultralisks. And of course, a bunch more Roaches. The point right now is to keep the pressure on, because they still have not expanded. Well, at least WPR is just now expanding, and it looks like isaywoot actually did expand. And he's actually sieging up Dig's gateways, rather. And one barracks there, giving them vision to these units, or to these buildings rather, but that one standalone cannon is actually able, with just a few hit points, the hero cannon taking enough health away from that barracks that he had to fly away. And that barracks is in the red now. It looks like it's going to die because there are no SCVs. And these Roaches and Zerglings moving up into WPR's and isaywoot's base, finishing off the last couple siege tanks. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the game. And just add insult to injury, throwing down another hatchery, and of course not even using the Roaches back in my base, because I know that this is over. WPR and isaywoot still hanging on, even though WPR is in bad shape when it comes to his economy. And of course, isaywoot is losing his economy over at his expansion, and his main base has pretty much been mined out as well. Dig getting into the fray now too with a few Zealots, and there is the GG from WPR. isaywoot rage quits, and this game is pretty much over. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this map, but one thing that has started to come out of it that's been kind of cool is that, like I said, since I don't like it, I like to do cheese strategies on it, because it forces a quick game either way. Either way, we lose quick, and then I don't have to play the map anymore, or they win quick, and or we win quick, and you know, if you get a quick win and get out of here, that's great too. But basically, the base swapping seems to be a more and more common occurrence because of the strategies that we do with basically the proxy rushes and stuff like that. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It was a fun game to play. I hope it was a fun game to watch. GG.